Hey folks, it's Brian on 106.3 FM. We're going to get started with this meeting here in just a little bit. We've got a couple of people out, and we're waiting on a couple of others. But we've got a packed house here tonight because of one of the agenda items happens to do with the school board and whether or not the Claiborne County Commission is going to go ahead and approve a raise for the superintendent or the director of schools. So we're getting ready to go now. We may have some sound issues. We're going to work it out. It's really loud in here with the fans going. Their air conditioning is actually out, so give us a chance to get this situated.
Slide it over towards you, man. Slide it towards you. I don't think we can. I don't think we're all right. All contributions to this not anybody know? Anybody know? Please be recognized by the term. Come up, the podium, on each side, to the microphone. That way everybody can hear over the voice of the machine. Rough out the machine set here and burn up. So we're working on that. Richard, can't hear it, let us know so we can do something about it. Everybody needs to make sure that the microphones work. First item up is approval of agenda.
Yes, sir.
Any amendment?
I think 453. I think 453. I think 453.
Each for resolution 53. Mr. Chairman, I handed out 3 resolutions at our workshop. Each of you county commissioners should still have those. There are 2 grants on there. Actually, they're all three grants. One is the 4th of July celebration, and just one of those ARC grants. So I'd like to add those to the agenda.
No, that's handed out at workshop.
They were handed out at the workshop. Those are the 3 that you brought with you from the last time. Should be an ARC Inspired grant, a HARP grant, and a 250th celebration grant.
Mayor, you okay if we kill them 2 right there forever? Can we kill these 2? Can we kill these 2 families? On the background? We just can't, nobody can hear you. I can't hear Mike at all. I just don't know if you can even adjust it. I don't think you can. I think they're old.
Resolution authorizing application for early added Tennessee park grant. Want to number it? Resolution number 65. And we have 13A. Alright. Resolution accepting the Tennessee Commission for the United States semi-ministry.
Quincentennial.
America 250 celebration. Number it, 66. It'll be 13B. Resolution authorizing matching funds for art inspired painting grant application. Number it, 67. Be 13C. What's next?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add a discussion item. We have Mr. Jason Monday with us, he's Senior National Director, membership of Air Medicare, several county employees and county commissions involved. It's put on their own helicopter, air ambulance. You know, what was planned, but I'm surprised after they planned, and all the way to the night.
All right, we'll put that discussion as 1A. Okay, next.
I have 2 resolutions to add.
Okay.
One is for a budget amendment to Family Justice Center.
Okay, we get that first. Number is 68. And will be 13B.
The other is for the health department.
Okay. Number 69. 13E.
And I also have somebody that would like to address the board.
Is that a discussion item or is
I would think it'd be discussion. Jason Osborne.
Okay, we'll make that 1B. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, item number 11, which is 062, and item number 12, which is
hear that? No.
That's 82, 83, 84. That's the only unit that is not going to be set.
Okay, next.
Mr. Chairman, I have two items for discussion, Mr. Bass and Mrs. Owens.
We have an item of discussion.
Two separate resolutions, Mr. Bass.
I can't hear you.
Where, number two,
Hey, Tim, can you speak into your microphone best you can?
my mic is not working.
Okay, well, speak up.
The other is, been called Owens, and she's here at the village night, and, she wants some discussion in reference to the school board.
All right, we're gonna get, we'll see.
Yes, another one too. Yes, who's that?
Walkville,
Mr. Bass.
Will D.
See.
D.
I thought we already had two sets of discussion.
All right, anyone else?
Yeah. She would see.
Mr. Chair, there's an additional resolution in there for retention bonuses for the sheriff's office that everyone should have. And then there are also 5 budget minutes from the county finance office that you should have for the budget workshop that you get.
Okay. So the first one is sheriff, retention bonuses. Number 8, 70. It'll be 13, F. How many votes needed to vote? 5? Okay. Everybody should have these that are given out at the workshop. We'll start with the budget amendment for Fund 131. The resolution 171. 13G. Budget amendment for Fund 151. 72. That'll be 13H. Bear with me, there's a lot of amendments here that we're going to have to get on the agenda. The next item up will be budget amendment for Fund 122. Number is 73. It'll be 13I. Budget amendment for Fund 116 is 74. Be 13J. Budget amendment for Fund 101 will be number 75. Be 13K. Now, is there anything else?
Chairman, I handed out a handout that will explain where it's cut off in the budget, like in the fourth quarter, the wheel tax report, and also the direction made down here where it says highway department wheel tax report, is the fourth, third quarter, it's actually the fourth quarter. It's highway. That's it.
Okay, everybody understand that? It says on the agenda, third quarter for the highway department wheel tax quarterly report. It should be the fourth quarter. And then he handed out a paper that does some corrections on that report. All right, anything else? All those in favor of the agenda as amended, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next item is approval of minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Now we've got to move in second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the next items is reports, the county office reports, county mayor's report, county sheriff's report, committee reports, highway department wheel tax quarterly report, fourth quarter.
So moved.
Okay, go ahead. So move. I got a second. Now, any questions on any of these reports? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next item up is no Republic performance.
So moved. Second.
Now, we've got to move in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Don't have any no Republic bond approvals. That moves us down to old business. This is a resolution that was tabled from the last meeting, Board of Education budget amendment. Mr. Mundy.
What do you need, Mr. Chairman? Motion right back to the table.
Yes.
I'll make a motion right back to the table.
Second.
What's it look? I got it. You made a motion now?
Right. I made a motion right back to the table.
Okay. You got a motion and a second. All right. Any discussion regarding this resolution?
We do. Well, I guess Kelly can discuss it or whatever. I don't mean, if I got any questions, it'd be the best thing to do, I guess.
I don't have any questions, but y'all tabled it to this one so that Kelly could be here to talk about it. I can't remember what questions that you all had initially had, but nobody here could answer them, so.
It was something to do with a line item, 72, 120, 105. The safety for $27,644. I think somebody had a question about that last time.
Is your microphone working?
Hello, can you hear me?
It's working.
It was tabled by somebody last meeting over a line item. This is $27,000 in here, and somebody asked for somebody from the school board to explain it. I don't know if that was Kelly or Haley. I can't remember who brought that up, but that was the reason it was tabled.
We had that, the 72250-189, other salaries and wages.
Yep.
What line exactly was the question on?
72250-189.
Okay, 72250 is our technology department, and that is where all of our computer techs are paid, 189. I know 189 is not liked by a lot of people because it is other salaries and wages, but it is a state-approved line that we use, the county uses. That is also where stipends are paid, grant money is paid. Some of our employees that are not principals or not teachers, they fall into that 189, kind of depending on what their job is, also based on where their funding comes from. So that's what 189 generally is other salaries and wages.
Kelly, on 71100-116, those teachers and it's been decreased by $199,980. Is that just clean up before the new budget?
It is. In the actual teacher line, there is teacher salaries, and there was no salaries changed with this. All teachers were paid what their contract stated. This is also the line that there is supplemental pay in for coaches and after-school activities. There is also grant funding in this line. There is also money that comes to us through a paid parental leave that the state approved a couple of years ago. So if one of our employees is out on a maternal leave, we do get funding back on that, and that goes back in this line. So at the end of the year, when we do have to do cleanup, we do take from that money, but that is not affecting any teacher that we currently house. That does not affect their contract amount.
Any other questions?
Kelly, on these, the WELL, what's that stand for?
That is a wellness grant.
Okay.
The state requires us to cost center our grants so that when reports are pulled, it's easy to be able to just pull that cost center, and we can tell everything that that grant cost us. So anytime that you see any type of lettering after one of our accounts, that is a cost center generally reflected for grant funding.
Okay, so anything that's like the state retirement, you get grant money for that, and like the supervisor director, that's
Yes, if it has a cost center after it is part of that wellness program.
Okay.
A lot of times those grants, they will pay for the wages and the benefits that do follow that employee.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? If not, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. We already have a motion, second, come on the floor. Do we have to do it again before we vote? All right, I need a motion and a second to vote on it. I've got a motion and a second.
Actually, they vote to bring it on, to put it on the floor, put it on, they take it off the floor, put it on the agenda. You need to vote twice.
Okay.
Need to vote on it, take it from the table, and then we'll vote on the read. If you don't have it yet.
This is to take it off the table, put it back on, and we voted on it. So, clerk call the roll.
David Mundy,
Yes.
Quentin Rogers,
Yes.
Zachary Bunn,
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Lee Schubert,
Yes.
Nathan Everson,
Yes.
Gary Ford,
Yes.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Crawford,
Yes.
Tim Shriver,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rowe,
Yes.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett,
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks,
Yes.
Steve Mason,
Yes.
Steve Brogan,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Sherry Prayer.
Yes.
All right, motion to take it off the table passes 19-4, 0 against. Now, I need a move and a second to vote.
I'll make a motion we pass it.
Now, second.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, clerk call the roll.
David Mundy,
Yes.
Quentin Rogers,
Yes.
Zachary Bunn,
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Lee Schubert,
Yes.
Nathan Everson,
Yes.
Gary Ford,
Yes.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Crawford,
Yes.
Tim Shriver,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rowe,
Yes.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett,
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks,
Yes.
Steve Mason,
Yes.
Steve Brogan,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Sherry Prayer.
Yes.
Budget amendment passes 19-4, 0 against. Now, I'm going to back up. I overlooked it. Two notary bond approvals. So I need a move and second to approve.
So Second.
All right, need a second. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, sorry about that. All right, that takes us down to new business. Before we start with the first item, I'd like for the Claiborne County Director of Health Department to stand and go in and introduce herself. She's the new director.
Hi there, I'm Joy Beal. I'm the new County Director for the Health Department. I'll keep it short and sweet since we have a very long agenda. It's a pleasure to serve this community, and I invite everyone to come on down to the Health Department for your vaccines and take advantage of our new service line of sick visits.
Thank you. Okay, first in line for new business to discussion concerning proposed grant is requested by Jared Everett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Jared Upler and have the honor and privilege of serving as your elected District Attorney General for Tennessee's 8th Judicial District, which Claiborne County is a part of. I've been in Campbell County in court this morning, so I lost track of where I'm at, so I apologize. But currently, there is a federal grant available to our judicial district for the hiring of a special assistant United States attorney. And what this position would be an attorney that works through my office, but is also cross-designated to handle federal prosecutions. And primarily this person would be charged with creating cooperation between federal, state, and local authorities to focus primarily on human trafficking and drug trafficking offenses. And the benefit to us would be, with better cooperation with our federal partners, we could identify major drug traffickers and work with our federal partners and work and see which jurisdiction could afford the most severe punishment for our most severe drug traffickers. We would need to run this grant through one of the counties of our judicial district, and because we have such a good working relationship with our finance department and you all, our county mayor's office, we chose Claiborne County. And in anticipation of the first question is, what will this cost Claiborne County? And the answer to that is nothing other than what cost it would be to our finance department to administer the salary and related documents to this new position should we get it. At this point, I'm asking for a favorable vote from the Commission to begin the grant process for this Special Assistant United States Attorney. And this is not binding upon Claiborne County at this time. If we are awarded the grant, there would still be a contract that I would have to bring back and we would have to approve. So this is just asking for permission to begin the grant process for the Special Assistant United States Attorney, but would be cross-designated to prosecute human trafficking and drug trafficking crimes in both state and federal court. And I'll be glad to entertain any questions you all may have.
I absolutely support it to make a motion myself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shroud.
Suspend the rules, got a second. Need to make a motion to suspend the rules to make it a voting item.
Second motion to suspend the rules.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, do we need a high vote for that?
Yes.
All right, this is to suspend the rules. All those in favor to suspend the rules so we can entertain this, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Now make the resolution you know to respond to it. Sponsor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I do pass and make that resolution for this sponsorship.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. You know how I mean?
No.
You got it? Okay. Everyone needs to be listed. So call the clerk, call the roll. Yes.
Stacy Crawford.
Yes.
Tim Shroud.
Yes.
Zach Mullins.
Yes.
Anthony Rowe.
Yes.
Roger Cosby.
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett.
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks. Yes. Steve Mason.
Yes.
Steve Brogan.
Yes.
Eric Jones.
Yes.
Sherry McCreary.
Yes.
David Mundy.
Yes.
Quentin Rogers.
Yes.
Zachary Bunch.
Yes.
Dennis Cook.
Yes.
Whit Shuford.
Yes.
Nathan Everson.
Yes.
Gary Ford.
Yes.
It passes 19-4, 0 against.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank y'all so much, and I will keep y'all updated on where we're at in the process.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, would that be resolution number 076? We didn't need a resolution number? Just for my...
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Next item up is the discussion regarding Arrowhead. Mr. Mullins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This time I'll turn the microphone over to Mr. Jason Munday.
Good evening. My name is Jason Munday. I'm the National Director for Air Care Network. Air Care Network is a global medical response solution. You will know us more locally as our partnership with UT Lifestar that's been serving Claiborne County residents for So since 1984 is when UT became active, but in the past 3 decades been transporting Claiborne County residents directly. The AirMed Care Network, I put together some folders so you had some kind of clarity and understanding who we are, because we have a lot of logos, brands that unify under the Global Medical Response company. GMR, so you understand, is the nation's largest EMS provider. We transport 140,000 air ambulance patients for emergent transports annually. We interact with about 5.5 million patients nationwide. So we are the largest entity out there. We also come with the AirMed Care Network Alliance of membership offerings. Many of you are familiar with that. We've been out here for 13 years in Claiborne County, making sure that each of your residents had the opportunity to have a solution that's affordable in front of them to utilize to offset the financial impact that being flown by an air ambulance can have. We're fully transparent. We know that the cost of these services can be substantial, and the biggest challenge that you face is knowing when it's going to happen, what your insurance will do or not do, and what the financial impact is to you. Hence, 42 years ago, we put together the AirMed Care Network to provide a solution down to the resident level to let them control those concerns if they do have financial concerns. Today, we have the largest network of its kind across the nation. If you look at the brochures in your thing, you'll see our network map. On any given moment, we're going to have about 350 plus aircraft that are flying in the continental United States, Alaska, and Hawaii, providing these life-saving services. From a GMR perspective, we load a patient about once every 3.8 minutes of every single day, of every week, of every month, of every year. So we transport a lot of patients. The reason I'm here this evening is we've been getting a lot of calls from residents that are members when, hey, what's happening with our membership now that there's potentially another air ambulance provider in the market? Nothing's changed from our point. Some of the references are also to the No Surprise Act, which was enacted 1 January, February 2022. And that was a federal legislature to try to put some control mechanisms in place regarding the financial concerns of air ambulance operators and the disagreement on reimbursement with insurance carriers. I provided some talking points in the brochure so you can clearly understand what the No Surprise Act does and what it does not do. I want to stress that the No Surprise Act does not eliminate the patient's financial cost-sharing obligations. All it simply does is take an out-of-network fee schedule and move it to be treated as an in-network fee schedule based on the summary benefit guides that the insurance carriers issue. As a provider, it's our responsibility to follow that benefit guide and the deductible amounts, the copay amounts, and the co-insurance amounts, and go after those monies if we've transported a patient, with one exception. The exception is if they're an AirMed Network member, we write off all of it. And that's no matter whether it's $1 or it's the full bill charges, we will actually write that off. It's a membership concept. It's not helicopter insurance or ambulance insurance. It's a very simplified concept that covers everybody in the household. It has no caps on the number of transports. It has no caps on the amount we'll write off. And it has no caps on the number of total transports. Current record for us right now is, remember, we've flown 13 times. So you can see it can be utilized over and over. On this page right here, you'll recognize some of the branding across Tennessee. We have 30 aircraft in the great state of Tennessee alone. You're going to see our partnerships with UT Lifestar. As you move kind of more western Tennessee, you'll see Aerovac Life Team. You'll see the Erlanger Life Force partnership. As you move east toward the Tri-Cities market, you'll see HART, the old Wings Air Rescue. And then as you move toward the Memphis market, you'll see Hospital Wing. So we're heavily invested in Tennessee to make sure these life-saving services are in place and available for the residents when they need them. Going back looking at data from 1 January 2022, and that's when the No Surprise Act took effect, there's a couple things that we identified. UT Lifestar has transported over 1,000 of your residents in that time being. When we average that out, we're transporting the Claiborne County resident once every 1.5 days. So a long legacy history of being there to provide this life-saving service to your residents. Additionally, when we look at the participation in the AirMed Care Network membership program, when we take a look at your census data, your population data, and we look at what's called the effective population, the number of your residents that are eligible to purchase, 28% of your residents have already invested in the membership. I bring this to your attention because any shift to take that opportunity away from them to express their preferences on who can transport them in their life-saving time is critical. It can have a financial impact on them. To be contingent entirely on your health insurance plan And thinking that the No Surprise Act is going to solve everything is going to leave a lot of disappointed minds out there, because they must follow what the cost sharing obligations are in place. And we don't define those. All we do is follow the rules of the insurance carrier. Once they process the claim, they tell us how much we're supposed to go collect from that individual. We firmly believe that a patient's life is worth more than the almighty dollar when it comes down to it. We never want anybody to jeopardize their life for the fear of a bill. We also have a compassionate billing process. With that, as you can imagine, like any other compassionate billing process, you must disclose financial information to see if you qualify. So in a sense, in summary, the only thing that's going to guarantee that zero out-of-pocket expenses is if we transport them by one of our GMR assets and they are a card-carrying member. Additionally, there's some information about our non-emergent product. A lot of people are not very familiar with it, but this is called Fly You Home. You'll probably read news articles or hear people that went out west or went to California, and they were on vacation, they got injured. Now they want to get back home. So it's a bedside-to-bedside transport model. You're rarely going to see an insurance product that touches this because it's considered a convenience flight. So they're going to say, you can do it, and we arrange it on a fee-for-service where you pay us up front before we transport. Our membership cost covers all that entirely. It's been a great benefit because it allows your residents to come back to facilities that are closer to them, get back to their home, get back to their networks of physicians that they trust and know, and also more importantly, get surrounded by their family without shelling out more financial outcomes, being out of pocket into hotels and things of that nature. To cap that off, we have the international side of the house for those that are adventurous and want to go across the pond, as we say. We own and operate AirMed International, which is one of our companies, and is the leading company across the world that does international transports. I wanted to share this information with you so that way we could clarify any miscommunication or misinformation that may be out there, because ultimately when it comes down to it, all we do, our crews don't even know whether that person's a member. They transport them, and on the end we look for them. Are you a member? Yes. If so, the billing from the out-of-pocket side turns off immediately. And we do this on a daily basis. I am the national director. I oversee the entire network. I am out of Jonesboro, so I'm a Tennessee resident and live, what I say, right down the road from you. I'll pause there and see if you have any questions for me. Okay. Additionally, we have Matthew Owens, the director of UT Lifestar, to answer any operational or clinical questions that you may have. Subject matter expert knows all about it, so we have that partnership built together under the GMR umbrella.
Sir, I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
You know, we've heard everything since this was all brought up. If you don't mind me asking, if I do not have insurance, what does it cost? And I'll tell you if what they're spreading is correct.
If you are totally uninsured and you bought one of our memberships?
No, if I don't have no membership with you at all.
Yeah, full bill charge. You'll face the full bill charges. The No Surprise Act specifies that. The only guarantee under the No Surprise Act is you can get a quote ahead of time. Now think about that. How many of your patients do you think are going to be in the right mental state, physical state, to ask for a quote in an emergency where you're facing a golden hour parameter?
Well,
So,
you know how people talk. Somebody said they put them down and charged them $150,000 to fly from here to Knoxville. Is that correct?
I've not seen those numbers, but I can tell you this, to give you a specific number would be inferred as a quote, and each flight is transported a little bit differently. I will tell you the cost is substantial, and I'm sure if you poll your residents and talk to them, they'll tell you. That's why you have 28% of your residents that are investing in this membership to eliminate that concern. And we've done everything we can to make sure that guaranteed zero out of pocket, we apply that to our members.
That's why we all bought it, because of that.
Yes.
But then we hear that somebody's having a problem with it because it changed hands. That's what we're wanting to clarify.
It's a network, so only the providers within that network are protected. So another entity coming in from another company that's not within this network is afforded no protections under the network. You cannot write off expenses on behalf of another company that you haven't incurred dues to prepay for that write-off calculation. It'd be no different than Chevrolet honoring your Ford warranty, even though it's a Ford product and you bought the product at Ford.
Well, the thing about it is if I'm up here at this hospital, they're going to call their people instead of you, is what I have from.
We can't control that.
I understand that.
Yeah, we can't control that.
This has nothing to do with you because we're insured with you guys.
Yes, sir.
But now that's my understanding. It's different helicopters. I'm sure you guys would probably be the second call with both of the aircraft. That's my question.
Do you have anything you want to add to it? Matthew, on the caller preference?
Yeah, I'll just add to that. One alone, the things that we're addressing, again, Matthew Owens, Director of UT Lifestar, you have a voice as a patient. perfect family, you know. And, but rest assured that, if called upon, to utilize our program, we take as good care as we've taken care of the citizens of the county for decades. And proud of you, said.
We appreciate that.
A lot of us live here, right? A lot of us, you guys probably know somebody on our team. But yeah, you do have a voice. It's not always optimal to express it if you're in a healthcare emergency, right? But someone could maybe on your behalf. That would be the only thing that I could offer at that particular moment. It's just that level of education. Does that help?
Yeah, well, we've sold this, and like I said, it's not, I'm a county employee also. It's nothing to do with you guys, because you did this. It's just something that's changed. It's got people concerned, and I'm talking about employees of the county and people that actually lives in the county. Because it's going to happen to them if they get up here to the hospital. They're going to get a $50,000 bill.
Yeah. It's not an uncommon scenario in other markets. We've been blessed that we've had kind of the unity in this particular market here in East Tennessee for some time, so we've not really had to think about that. We've had multiple air medical services. It just so happens that the majority of them, if not all of them, have been under that EMR umbrella, which also means that you're under the Air Care Network umbrella. That's different. Again, most markets have a lot of some different services that represent different entities. It's an adjustment to just have the awareness for those folks who are membership holders to have that awareness and that education that you can vocalize that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that you'll ever be a part? Do you think Covington will ever come under your umbrella?
I can't foresee the future. I can tell you we started with one aircraft. Back in the day, we're at 350 plus today with multiple companies. I mean, we are the largest entity. I can't tell you what would happen with that. The key thing is when you look at a membership component, it's the compliance test is at the Office of the Inspector General. The Office of the Inspector General specifies you cannot offer reciprocity. You can't do it. Once you start doing reciprocity, there's like a guarantee of service. It becomes an insurance model, and guess what happens? It's the reason people are coming to us because they have concerns about what their insurance may not do, right? We don't want to become that at that level, so we've stood along as a membership product. It's simple, it's very affordable, it's $99 a year or less for an entire household. And we did the household dynamic because we know what's in these households. There's so many what's considered non-traditional household members that aren't by family, by law, by blood, like your health benefit plan may specify. To us, it doesn't matter. If that person's in your household, they're covered under that one due fee annually. Any other questions?
I'd just like to say that I bought your policy for 10 years, because, and I'm still already had it, so I didn't even need it, because it is such a savings. My daughter was flown out in 2009, and I never even thought to ask anything about a bill. You know, she needed to be flown out. They flew her to UT from Claiborne Hospital, and I was very thankful. While we were still in the hospital, somebody called from the billing office and told me that that should be my last concern, that they would make sure it was the last thing that was billed to me, so that my insurance might cover more of it. I'm very appreciative of it, but somebody told us, and maybe somebody in here remembers, that Covenant maybe only has 2 air ambulances. 3, I was told 2, and that they were in 2 different places. Do you know? Mike? 2. And so if they're not available, it would be automatically to go to somebody else. But in that moment, even though I have insurance, I still wouldn't think to ask for the right, you know, because you don't, if you need them, you need them.
Sure.
But it doesn't seem fair, it doesn't seem right, but that is how it is.
Yeah. Well, we didn't bring any other assets in. we were perfectly comfortable the way things were. So. But that's a competitive industry. The thing we share, if you remember, you get membership cards, you get key fobs, you get vehicle stickers. We spend a lot of time educating first responders, EMS, hospital staff. If you have a patient there and they're holding this up, they're saying this is them conveying that message to you that I've already invested in something that guarantees me 0 out of pocket if you do that without jeopardizing my health. We're looking at a complex situation and an emergency situation where things are moving rapidly. But we have a long legacy of history of being able to do that for members such as
And I also thought putting the decal on the back of my car would mean that they would automatically call for that, but I don't think that's true either now.
confusion and some information that frankly is misinformation. It's not accurate, so we wanted to be here in front of you, stand toe-to-toe and say these are the facts. And, you know, we can respond at any time, come back and revisit the commission if you'd like to answer any further questions.
Are you getting these concerns at other counties also?
No.
No?
No, sir. Right here.
Are there any negotiations between Lifestar and Covenant about Covenant coming into the network?
I'll speak to that. I wouldn't apply the word negotiations. We know the folks in the leadership of that new program. We communicate with them regularly. It's mostly operational, deconfliction, safety, making sure that we're operating in the same airspaces. But in terms of collaboration from a business model perspective, I would say no, it's two completely separate entities. I anticipate it will remain two completely separate entities. But we certainly do collaborate with them. And if you brought up a good point, if one of those two aircraft is not available, they will likely roll that request to one of our 5. Conversely, if our aircraft is requested first and one of our 5 is not available, we would do the same thing. In the interest of the patient, we would roll that request to their program as well. Because at the end of the day, folks like myself, we're interested in making sure that the patient is taken care of. I remain aware and very educated on all the things that Jason has talked to you about tonight. But ultimately, operationally, we just want to make sure that you're taken care of. But I would not say negotiations in terms of trying to become one entity or have that cross coverage or anything like that. That's simply not a business feasibility point, I would say. That answer your question?
So if I may, real quickly, one of the problems that we have is that we're into a contract with Covenant Health to run Claiborne Hospital. And the EMS service is tied up in that contract. So when a 911 call goes out for EMS services, it's automatically dispatched to that provider. Once they're on scene, they make the call of who's going to fly whose bird into it. What we're seeing is typically their bird gets the first call. Right now, we have little legal leg to stand on. There may be something that we could look at that, but that would come at a huge cost to the county to take that EMS service away from that contract again. So it's not that we've not had conversations, but there has to be a willingness to move pieces around the table to take that EMS service back to the county. That way they can use that preferred bird that's covered under AirMed insurance. So it's not that we're not having those conversations, it's just a huge price tag to bring that back out.
Anybody have any other questions for me? Thank you for your time. Please let me know if you'd like me to revisit any questions.
Thank you for your input.
Okay, next item up is another discussion, Jason Osborne.
My name is Jason Osborne. I live in Harrogate. I'm not much of a public speaker and not real big on government or a lot of this stuff, so I usually don't get involved. Some of you all may know that I've got a criminal case against me. I'm not going to be discussing that tonight. My discussion tonight will be about safety concerns and county officials being derelict in their duty. I think it's a problem that needs to be addressed, and it's an ongoing thing. This wasn't just an isolated incident. Mr. Brooks, I'm not a big supporter of police. Anybody that knows me knows that I've had an opportunity to see things from the inside out, but I have made comments during his entire service that I've been very happy with the way he's ran things in the county, that he hasn't allowed his guys to be out being cowboys and just constantly trying to generate revenue, and I appreciate that. The problem I have is that the past few months that it seems like that because he's on his way out, not going to be reelected, that the kind of, I guess everybody's doing their own thing. I think it's a problem that needs to be addressed. Like I said, my issue in my neighborhood, I wasn't really aware that it was a known issue or that it had been going on for that time. but there was some vicious dogs running my neighborhood. There had been numerous calls. I found this out afterwards that several females in the neighborhood had called and stated that these dogs had chased them into their house. And they were told by, I don't know if it was the sheriff's department or animal control, that she would need to take possession of those dogs and then call them, and then they would come get them. I don't know how that somebody that's getting paid taxpayer dollars could possibly do that. I mean, that's their job. The other problem that I'm aware of is I'm in the process of building a house down Powell Valley, outside the city limits, and it's around the Evans Ridge, Powell Ridge Road area. There has been problems going on there for 3 or 4 months with dogs. My brother has called numerous times about them, and he keeps being told that they're going to come pick them up, and they never do. He has $3,000 worth of vet bills where these dogs have attacked his dogs on his own property. He's killed a couple of them already, which I believe he's well within his rights to do. It wasn't until another neighbor called and they came out and picked them up. That same house has just recently dropped more dogs off there. Like I said, this is a safety concern. The officer that arrested me will settle that out in court, but the problem I have is that he witnessed firsthand that there was vicious dogs in the neighborhood, and it wasn't until 3 weeks of me raising a stink about it and going public before animal control finally came out and picked those dogs up. And I don't know how some people can sleep at night, because if I know that there is a danger to people around me in my community, I would feel morally obligated to do something about that. And like I said, after seeing, he's had to have seen firsthand, he's seen that my goats were killed. And like I said, it was still 3 weeks before anything was done. Those dogs could have easily ate somebody else up or killed a child. And I'm tired of people quick to take these taxpayer jobs and quick to run and cash their checks and then be derelict in their duty of what they were hired to do. That's pretty much all I've got to say today. I would like to recognize Sherry. She's not even my commissioner, but she's done more for me as far as getting me a chance to speak here. Carolyn has spoken to me, and I appreciate that, and I hope that your husband's issue with his truck and his trailer, I hope y'all get that worked out. Rosemary, I've seen that you had a phone number and stuff, and I know that you're not required to have a Facebook page or anything like that, but this day and time, there is a lot of information that can't be just exchanged by phone. I would suggest that if you're going to have a public position, that you become more accessible to your constituents. And Steve Mason, I reached out to you a week ago, and I still never received a response from you. I've spoken to Troy Poor, the city mayor. He looked into things and he discussed things with me. And Joe Brooks, I've reached out to him, and tonight he told me that we've discussed things afterwards. But like I said, this is a problem that's ongoing. It's not an isolated incident. And I'm getting ready to move, like I said, out of the city down to the county. And it seems like everybody just brings their dogs that they don't want anymore and drops them off. And this is a safety concern. And people can ignore it, but when a little kid gets eaten up, that'll be on your heads. Now, I'd be glad to answer any questions if anybody has any. But if not, I thank you for your time. And I hope that this situation can be looked into and that we can make some changes, because, like I said, if you ignore this issue and something happens to a kid, that's on your head. Thank you.
Mr. Alden, I have one quick question.
Yes.
Do you have a description near Powell Ridge and Evans Ridge on the animals that are down there?
Yes, I mean, I I've seen, personally witnessed 5 or 6 there. Most of them, these black dogs. There was one little red one that I think my brother eventually killed. He caught it up there at his house, and he was able to kill it. I can tell you the address. I mean, I don't know if you all really want to get into some of that publicly, because there's a lot of other issues surrounding that person and family.
Don't give your address in public.
I will be more glad to speak with you after.
Okay. I'd be glad to answer any questions concerning this. Thank you. Any other questions?
Did you actually call animal control, or did you call 911?
No, I did not. And like I said, that's going to be my case, and it's a little different. And I wasn't aware of there being a dog issue in my neighborhood at the time. I keep a BB gun next to my back door because neighborhood dogs will come and bark at my goats, and I will shoot them with a BB gun just to run them off. I would be well within my legal right to take a rifle out and kill them. I don't feel right about that, so I use a little BB gun, and it's been effective up until now. These dogs gained access into a chain link fence that I had electric run around the bottom of it, and they killed 2 of my goats. But again, like I said, I'm not sure how much of the criminal case that I'm facing right now that I should be addressing with you all. But my concern is after people started reaching out, and several of these are females in the neighborhood that I do not know, they've told me their stories, and the one that told me that she was told to capture the dogs herself and that they would come out and get them, I thought that was ridiculous. She's not here today. She had some prior engagements that she had to do, but she will be giving a deposition with my attorney, and if you all like, I can give her name, and I'm sure she would be glad to be heard and give the details of her experiences with this. And like I said, that's not just one person. I know of 4 or 5 people specifically in my neighborhood that have had this problem. And then I know of the issue on down the valley with that problem as well. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, next item up is another discussion. Ms. Collins.
Mr. Chairman, may I address the County Commission this time? My name's Paula Goins. I want to make a little correction with what Mr. Strout mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. This has nothing to do tonight with the school board. And in my own words, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. You did exactly what I asked you to do. You listened, you had conversations, and I appreciate that. However, I do have another question about an ethics committee. Now, this has been a laborious process. This has been a laborious process. Just on Thursday, I've submitted my document, which I have shared with some of you digitally. I've submitted my document to the Tennessee Comptroller Office. What they do is they open up, if they see a reason to investigate, they just show up. They do not notify me unless there's some other questions that they need to ask of me. So I do want to make you aware that I did submit that document to the Comptroller's Office. I also submitted that same 40-page document to elected officials in the county. The first person that I sent that 40-page document to was Mr. Joe Brooks. I also sent that 40-page document to Mr. Jared Effler. I got a response from Mr. Joe Brooks that said an ethics committee would be appointed tonight. Here is my concern. Actually, I'm speaking just for clarification. I cannot be like this gentleman and offer you the opportunity to ask questions because I don't know the answers. That's why I've come to you all. So I'll move forward. I've made a good faith effort to follow the established process for filing an ethics complaint. In attempting to determine the proper procedure, I found that while both the Claiborne County Board of Education and Claiborne County itself have policies addressing ethics and conduct, there appears to be no clearly designated individual, office, or official identified to receive, process, investigate, or provide guidance regarding these ethics complaints. I even sent a certified letter to Mr. Estep asking for people who were appointed. When they were appointed, I did not get a response. To ensure my concerns were directed to the appropriate authorities, I sent certified letters, which I have just said to you, to the county attorney, the district attorney, and Mayor Joe Brooks, seeking guidance on the proper complaint process and the appropriate entity responsible for reviewing such concerns. Despite these efforts, the only response I received, like I said just a few minutes ago, I'm sorry, I've been referred to as loud and rhetorical. I want to apologize for that because it's in my DNA. If you know my family, we're all loud. So I will not apologize for that. I'll move forward because I know you're hot, I'm hot, it's been a long day. As a citizen and taxpayer, I have attempted to follow the channels available to me. However, the absence of a clearly identified complaint process and designated point of contact creates confusion for citizens seeking to report potential ethical concerns and undermines the transparency and accountability that the public expects from local government. Furthermore, if an ethics committee exists only in policy, but is not functioning, meeting, or readily accessible to the public, it sends a troubling message to the citizens of Claiborne County. It creates the perception that there is no meaningful avenue for accountability, no clear process for addressing ethical concerns, and no practical mechanism for ensuring that complaints are reviewed fairly and impartially. When citizens are encouraged to report concerns but cannot identify who receives those concerns, where should they be submitted? Or what happens after the submission? Public confidence in government is diminished. An ethics process should not only exist on paper, but should also be visible, accessible, and operational. Citizens should never be left wondering whether their concerns will be heard, reviewed, or simply ignored. For these reasons, I respectfully request clarification regarding the proper procedure for submitting an ethics complaint. The individual, the office, the committee, or governing body responsible for receiving such complaints, and the process by which those complaints are reviewed, investigated, and resolved. I also respectfully request that the information be made readily available to the public so that all citizens have a clear understanding of their rights and the procedures available to them when raising ethical concerns. I do want to say in closing, if Claiborne County Commission decide not to have a fully functional ethics committee, you do have it on paper, however, it's outdated. The last ethics committee policy that was signed was in 2020. That is signed by Juanita Honeycutt and Mayor Joe Brooks. There hasn't been one since. Or, I can't find it. The county commissioners that I've reached out to, they couldn't answer me. I do want to bring you aware of, again, if you decide not to have a functioning body of an ethics committee, you will be mandated January 1 of next year. That's House Bill 1451, Senate Bill 2257. You must have a functioning ethics committee and submit paperwork to the state at that time. Here's the House bill.
Can you repeat that?
It says, Senate Bill 2257, House Bill 1451. This is Section 1, Part A of the Tennessee Code Annotated, Title 5, Chapter 1, Part 1, amended by adding the following as a new section. Before January 1st, 2027, each county shall create an ethics commission for the county to aid in protecting the integrity of the processes of government and preventing abuse. That will be required. January 1, 2027.
Thank you.
I come before you tonight just to ask, where does it go? I mean, if you honestly sit there and tell me that when somebody comes before you with a complaint, which is supposed to be in writing, submitted to the chair, to an ethics committee that doesn't exist, just as this gentleman did here. I mean, do you listen? I'm sure you do. There's some of you that do. But do you actually investigate and make a decision? Right now it's policy. You have a policy. It's outdated, but you have one. You haven't had one in 6 years. I just request and hope that county commissioners have a conversation and get that up and going. Because of January 1, you will be mandated to do that. Do you have any questions for me? Like I said, I can't answer them because I don't know. That's why I'm asking you all.
Ms. Goins, I don't have a question for you, but I would like to address by comment some of the stuff you've said. So we've heard your request for that, and County Attorney Eastep and I have spoken. While the ethics complaint that you have is not necessarily against the county per se, it's against the school side of the equation. The school system, and correct me if I'm wrong with the conversation we've had, County Attorney Eastep, has to have its own ethics committee with regards to hear those complaints. Yes. Now, once you and I spoke, we looked at that. There is not a resolution that will be voted on tonight because there are processes that we have to do. So we have a company that does our county website for us. As soon as that button and information is updated, so any citizen can go to the county website, hit the button and lodge a complaint to where it goes straight to the ethics committee and all the members on it, then that will be done probably by week after next. There will be an updated ethics committee appointment by county commission for that. Now, you're right, it's not been done since 2022 when Juanita Honeycutt and I had signatures on those. But it will be done. We're not hearing you. We are having conversations, and some of those conversations are kind of futile until you have an end game with what you're going to do. So that's where we are on the county side with that, to where there will be one on the county website. But I would encourage that conversation to extend also to the school system. If they have to have an ethics committee, then they themselves will need to appoint one. That would be against them, but we are working on getting the general county avenue to have those complaints heard and received. I just wanted you to know that.
And I appreciate that because I have Claiborne County Board, School Board, Ethics, Code of Ethics. They do have a policy, and it says, you know, that the Ethics Committee may refer the matter to a board attorney. In the case of a board member, refer the matter to the Board of Education for possible public censure if warranted. Again, just as Joe said, the Claiborne County School System has to have their own ethics committee. They will be mandated by January 1. Up until this point, it was not mandated. Most counties in the state of Tennessee have an ethics committee. Claiborne does not. You're going to have to now.
We have since 1993, and the policy provides for any ethics committee, ethics complaints be sent to P.O. Box 3.
Yes.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
And we've not received any since 1993. So
if a person were to submit an ethics complaint, which I submitted my material that was sent to Joe, that's what I did, went online, it says chair, I did. I sent that to Joe P.O. Box. I submitted a letter to you certified saying, requesting information. I didn't hear back.
Well, I'm not your attorney.
That's true.
I take my direction from the county commission. I represent them, so I don't respond to those because they're my client. They would have to authorize it.
Okay, and I appreciate that honesty. I appreciate that. However, I just don't know what to do.
So were we all the ethics committee? Well, in 2020, when the resolution went through that Juanita sponsored, did we appoint, or did you appoint? Did you suggest?
So the resolution did not appoint or anything on there. It just named one individual that would be responsible for the mailbox. Historically, that's been the clerk and master's office that's got that key to do the mailbox. Since we have a new clerk and master, the key is there, but they're not allowed to go in and open the mailbox. But we check the mailbox on a regular basis. But all that will be updated next month once we have that formal process on the website for individuals to make an ethics complaint.
And that's all I ask for, just clarification of what to do, how to do, and who to talk to.
I remember I was on that committee at one time, but I resigned off from it because I was on more than 2 committees. If we had a complaint against the school system, would the county actually hear that?
No. It is two, and County Attorney Eastep can weigh in on this. They are two separate entities within inside the county. You have zero authority over the school system. The school board has the authority over the school system.
Okay, then that leads me to a question. This paperwork, which was revised November of 2020, in Section 1 definitions, and I'm sure if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me. It says, county means Claiborne County, which includes all boards, committees, commissions, authorities, corporations, or other instrumentalities appointed or created by the county or an official of the county, and specifically including the county school board, the county election commission, the county health department, and utility districts in the county. Can you explain that to me?
There's a separate statute in Tennessee Code Annotated that separates the Board of Education from that.
Okay, so when you revise this, will it remove the statement that says,
If we remember.
which includes all boards?
If we remember, but they have boards that they appoint.
Right, I understand.
That are not related to that, to the Board of Education. Board of Education has a separate statute and policy that provides that they have to have an ethics.
And that's why I come before you all tonight to get clarification.
Sure.
Because there was a lot, I've learned a lot during this. So I come before you to clarify that for me. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Please come up.
My question's for Mr. Easton. Who is the ethics committee? Who's on it? On both?
I don't have
both sides.
I don't have it in front of me. It was Zach is on it, Juanita Honeycutt, Billy Johnson. There were 5. I don't have it in front of me.
This Billy Johnson, he's not on county commission now.
But he's on the ethics committee until he resigns or is removed. Or
No, you're not on the ethics
a
committee.
replacement is appointed.
Huh? Did you know
But we've never had a,
it? Still, you got
we never had a complaint. So,
Nobody knows about it.
Well, it's limited.
And that's your commissioners.
It's limited to financial issues. So there is by statute. So we have an ethics committee that we'll put together next month to update.
You're also the county attorney for the school board too, right?
I'm the county attorney for the school.
Okay, who is the ethics committee for the school system?
I'm not aware. I don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to look.
All right.
Okay. I've got that here, one other discussion.
She's got something else.
This is just an addendum. When, a few minutes ago, when I said that I had sent Joe Brooks and Jared Effler, I did also send paperwork to the Claiborne County Ethics Committee Attention Chair, P.O. Box 2038, is that correct?
Tire. T-E-A-R?
This is from,
Chair.
it says, Claiborne County Ethics Committee Attention Chair,
Chair.
Post Office Box 2038.
I don't know who that is. It's P.O. Box 3, Tyson.
It's in the policy, I'm going by what, the Claiborne County policy. And that's who I sent it to. Like I said, I come for clarification, not to argue, not to sling mud, I just need clarification.
I will say thank you, Ms. Goins, for bringing that to our attention. It is P.O. Box 3 that I know. I don't know the other number that you got, but all that will be updated on the new resolution.
Thank you.
What's that, Tazewell Post Office?
It says New Tazewell Post Office. I can hand you the paper.
And I will say, as a point of reference, everything that we get here in Tazewell for the courthouse all comes from the Tazewell Post Office, so I don't know who would have opened up a new Tazewell Post Office for 2308.
We'll have to figure that one out. I don't know that we have access to it.
It ain't 2308, it's 2038.
2038.
That's what.
Thank you, Craig, for the clarification. I didn't write it down, but I have now. 2038.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Who was the other discussion? Someone have another person to discuss?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Shroud, for recognizing me. My name is John Lee Damas, and basically I'm just looking for an update and information. It's mostly geared toward Mayor Joe. I think he has the information I'm looking for, hopefully. I want to ask about an update status of the residential project going on called Tennessee Views. That's over by Jimmy's Marina, Norris Lake. I understand, I don't think anything's happening right now. I'm not sure. I've had a lot of people in my residence, because it's District 3. They've asked me what I know about it, so I told them I would come here and try to get some information. Thought I'd do it in this forum so that everybody can find out in case they're curious.
I'm happy to give the update, as I know from speaking to Hexa LLC probably a couple of weeks ago about that. As you know, that is a major project in development in Claiborne County. What we're running into is servability with regards to water and wastewater on the property. I said they are running into that problem. The contractor, when they let the first contractor go, they put that national bid back out to all Tennessee contractors were licensed to do work in Tennessee. They got a contractor from Minnesota and Texas. They came in with large dozers, trucks, and what would have taken somebody locally 6 to 8 months to do, they did about 3. So the engineering and design on that has changed with regards to get over the saddle and down to Bear Paw. So rather than to pay that company to sit and wait for that engineering to be redone, they released them from the contract, and they'll be encouraged to rebid on the next phase of that contract. With regards to that proposal, we have been actively working with Claiborne Utility District. The large problem that we have is servability with regards to water and wastewater at that facility. So we have been working, I keep saying we don't own Claiborne Utility District, but my office and ECD have been working with a contractor and Claiborne Utility District for solutions on that. And what we're finding is that they're going to have to do several holding tanks in that area so that they have pressure with regards to any kind of fires and servability for the houses down there. There's also a lot of major movement with regards to a national chain that's already signed on to do the hotel and the resort side rentals down there. Because of the water issue, there's a little bit of hesitation to pull back on that. So as you can imagine, Claiborne County is a very huge task to do with only one utility district in Claiborne County. And a lot of the development that's been done in the 70s, 80s, even into the early 2000s, were done with no foresight for future development. I think if we all realized of what a lake would be in 2026 and that property with the value of everybody wanting even Lakeview for $1 million, that it would have been done different, but a lot of the past developments that were done with a minimal amount of water just for that development. So what has to happen now is the developer is having to go back and factor in bringing those 4-inch lines to 8-inch lines to redo all that water to get back to that. So that wasn't something I think that they calculated on from that, because I guess they assumed that Claiborne County, like most counties, would have an adequate servability down there with regards to water. So there are a lot of discussions to try to get the utility side back up to that, and that's where it's at. Now, how quickly that's going to happen, I can't speak to that. A lot of folks think that Claiborne Utility District is ran by the county. It is not. It is Claiborne Utility in name only, so it's their own entity. I have the pleasure to appoint members to the board, outlined by state statute how that process works, but the county has zero control on whether they want to play with this developer or how they want to play with that one. So it is a matter of moving pieces around the puzzle, so to speak, to try to get those entities together.
So all this water is going to be coming from the lake?
So your water from your area right now is coming from Jimmy's. Claiborne Utilities pools, they treat there at Jimmy's place on the lake. They could service that area if you just have to turn on a tap, but that's not the problem. The problem is all the other stuff that goes along with that. So now they're talking 1 holding tank, possibly 2 holding tanks down there. Obviously that's an amount of service to get to that, but they also have to increase the lines from the treatment center to those holding tanks.
And I thought the sewer was supposed to be private sewer for each residence?
So the sewer system in there, we're kind of getting in the weeds, I think, on some of this stuff, but the sewer system that is proposed is a step system, which means that you have a septic tank on each property, and then the only thing that leaves that is gray water. So your solids, just like at your home, will stay in. You'll have the microbes that'll eat that stuff out, or you'll have to pump it from time to time. But the water that leaves that is what goes into the system to get treated. So we're not taking raw sewage, solid material, which is another issue of having to upgrade the pumps that takes to get it up Straight Creek Road to where gravity feeds back down to the treatment center. We have talked with state ECD, ARC folks, and some other national partners about that, about possibly doing a second treatment facility on the south side of Claiborne County. State TDEC is kind of I don't want to use nuisance, but they want the treatment facility, the effluent water that's been treated, on the Clinch River. They want all of that off the Powell River because of its status as a federally protected river. So there are issues and pots of money that would be available if the utility district decides to go that route and open up a huge wastewater treatment facility on that. The infrastructure dollars about that are probably going to be somewhere between $5 and $10 million.
So the sewer sounds like, as far as I'm hearing from the residents, that sounds like a good idea where we're going with that. They're not that concerned by that. They are concerned by the water issue like you talked about, coming from the lake. We're kind of in a drought. You know, it's already going to take a lot of lake water. Traffic, I understood, is 1,200 slips still on the table with this marina?
TVA actually proposed, I think, approximately about 1,600 slips. And that was an issue, and I would say that TVA, when the developer first came in, was only talking about a few slips for the houses that were on the lakeside. But TVA said, well, you know, you can do that, but you've got a little over 3 miles of shoreline. You would qualify by their metrics to have a marina of X amount of slips, and that's where they stuck. So TVA kind of opened the door for them to do that. That was originally not the plan, to have a full-fledged.
I get that's out of your purview. Obviously, it's TVA. It's a whole different entity, state entity. That seems like way too many, obviously, to me, just personally. A lot of traffic, a lot of injuries probably happen, all that good stuff, not really into that. Are we still talking about 300 residences-ish?
So the number of homes that they proposed on that were a little over 500, actually. But they pulled that back now to where it's not going to be 500 single dwelling families. A lot of those are going to be rentals. To do that, the majority of those are going to be small cottages down on Bear Ball where the hotel would be located at. I can't give the exact number about that because their design team, when they come up with some of these ideas and meet with a national chain of what they want to do with rentals, I don't get included in a lot of those conversations.
All right, I think that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for the info, and like I said, if you hear more changes, please keep us advised. I'm sure I'll keep asking.
I'm happy to do it, but I'll use the word of caution about that. I'm not the developer.
I know. It's a major
anything that they do out of my purview, I'm not going to automatically get on Facebook and make a post about their business like I would do that about a local builder. But when you come to me and you ask me questions and concerns about utilities and stuff like that, I'm happy to talk about that.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir.
Joe, did you say Tennessee View is working with Claiborne Utilities on the utility side of that?
So their engineer firm is Robert Campbell and Associates from Knoxville, and we sat down and had at least 3 meetings that I've been involved in. Claiborne Utility District does not have an in-house engineer, so they use those services of Mitch Brunsma from JMT, which is the same engineer that does engineering for every water utility in the county and a few other projects. So there's a lag about that when Robert Campbell will meet one of their requirements with the design change they need to do. That gets sent to Claiborne Utility, then that gets sent to JMT about that, and Mitch Brunsma has been very upfront about that his first job is to JMT and their interest, and that becomes the second thing to look at those things for the utility district. But yes, we have been in conversations with them about what we can do to increase the water and sewer in that area of the county.
Only thing I'll say to that, I hope they have better luck with Claiborne Utilities than we did on that sewer project in Springfield.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
Since you brought that up, is there any developments on that project at Springfield?
So the developments that we had, I think I gave an update about that a couple of months ago, that you all authorized us to make the application for that, for the county to be able to make the second application for that, since that original grant was turned back to ARC and the government, was that we could not use any language to where we partnered with Claiborne Utility District or the school system. Because of that, we didn't tie heavily in the school being able to tie into that. Because we didn't, and that growth in that census tract, our application was ultimately not approved. So we met with them after that process 2 times to talk about it. We will be making another application in December of this year, an intent to apply. So as always, in November, you'll get that ARC application. This is what we want to do. We're going to apply for it in December, and we'll do that. But our grant narrative will tie the school into that more than we did the first time, because we thought that we couldn't mention even school because of the history between ARC, the utility district, and the school system and their problems. And I'd say not the school system, but the school system's problems that they have with the utility district, that bubbled over in ARC basically would not take an application if we used either one of those 2 entities in the county's application.
Is it for the community also?
Oh, absolutely. So it would be into the community. The problem was that we weren't heavy enough on the school that would tie into it and the economic impact that would have. We've heard that. Like I said, we've been to 3 different meetings to talk about that with ARC. And that grant narrative will have a lot of heavy language in there about the school system.
Anyone else? If not, we're going to move on to Resolution 54. Highway Department Budget Amendment. Mr. Monday.
Mr. Chairman, this where the Mr. People need to rearrange the money before the end of the year, and I'll make a motion to pass.
You got a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? If not, clerk call the roll.
Tabby Bundy,
Yes.
Quentin Rogers.
Yes.
Zachary Bunn.
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Rich Hubert,
Yes.
Nathan Everson,
Yes.
Gary Ford,
Yes.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Crawford,
Yes.
Tim Shrout,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rowe,
Yes.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett. Yes. Carolyn Brooks.
Yes.
Steve Mason.
Yes.
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
Eric Jones.
Yes.
Sherry McCray.
Yes.
Motion carries. 19-4, 0 against. Next item up is resolution number 55, Mr. Money.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60 and put them all together in one motion. That's all right with me.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tim,
All right, we got, any discussion?
we want to look at, maybe Kelly can help us on 58 and 60, correct?
58, 60.
Just help us understand the $375,000 decrease.
Okay,
We're just
that is, the school system is self-funded on our insurance policy. So when this budget was built, which was about 18 months ago, it was based on the 24-25 actual employees and estimations for the 25-26 budget year. So during that year, of course, we cannot predict anybody's situation. Generally, in June, we do have to add a little bit to our insurance line. It just kind of depends on how the year goes with our employees. So that's what it is. We are self-funded, so we have to cover that.
Okay. And 60. Is that, just not understanding how the two, that was 200,000, an increase and a decrease.
Is that on the?
School nutrition budget?
Okay, mine are not numbered, I'm sorry. Okay, that is the school nutrition program, and when we placed our money in the budget for the 25-26 year, we actually put the money in the 729 line. That's where we thought that they would want our vans that we were purchasing to be, but the state nutrition people wanted it in the other line. That's all that is. We have to go with what lines they require it to be in. We knew we were going to purchase a couple of vans for the food service program on account of transporting food, but we just got it in the wrong line. So that's just a cleanup to match the state.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other? If not,
Thank you.
clerk call the roll.
Eddie Money,
Yes.
Quinn Rogers,
Yes.
Zachary Dunn,
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Rich Hubert,
Yes.
Nathan Everson.
Yes.
Gary Ford.
Yes.
Mike Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Crawford.
Yes.
Tim Shrout.
Yes.
Zach Mullins.
Yes.
Anthony Rowe.
Yes.
Mitchell Crosby.
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett. Yes. Carolyn Brooks.
Yes.
Steve Mason.
Yes.
Steve Logan.
Yes.
Eric Jones.
Yes.
Sherry McCray.
Yes.
Motion carries 19-4, 0 against. Next item up is resolution 61, 5th district at standby. Mr. Cosby.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this is it's at the end of our extended water line in Fort Ridge, the new one that's installed is, it's a lesser, I guess, not a fire hydrant, but it's called a standpipe. And we're requesting that we put one in at the very end of that. And it's, I think we've got $4,500 already in the budget for this. So I'll make a motion that we adopt this resolution.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And also, I had run this by the engineer, Mitch Brunsma, and Arthur Shawnee Utility District Manager, Eric Garland, and they both made this.
Anything else? If not, clerk call the roll.
Mitchell Crosby.
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett.
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks.
Yes.
Steve Mason.
Yes.
Steve Logan.
Yes.
Eric Jones.
Yes.
Sherry McCray.
Yes.
Eddie Money.
Yes.
Quinn Rogers.
Yes.
Zachary Dunn.
Yes.
Dennis Cook.
Yes.
Rich Hubert.
Yes.
Nathan Everson.
Yes.
Gary Ford.
Yes.
Mike Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Crawford.
Yes.
Tim Shrout.
Yes.
Zach Mullins.
Yes.
Anthony Rowe.
Yes. Motion carries 19-4. 0 against. Next item up is Resolution 65. This is, okay, don't have a sponsor. Mr. Comm.
Is this 13A?
13A.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this is a resolution authorizing application for a Healthy, Active Rural Tennessee grant, which is called HART. I'm going to make a motion that we adopt this resolution for $100,000, and I'm going to let the county mayor explain it.
Is there a second? Second. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Commissioner Cosby said, the Healthy Active Rural Grant, or HART grant for Tennessee, is a grant that will make any parks or recs or any public spaces in the county ADA compliant, and it will do any upgrades that we need if there's any kind of toilets, any kind of drink stations or something like that down at either the marina, or not the marina, but the Brogan's boat ramp down there. It would allow us to do that if our Healthy Built Environment Grant is approved. As you all know, you all approved the resolution for us to apply for that last month. If it is approved, then we would stack this $100,000 no match dollars on top of that to make sure that everything we do with that grant is ADA compliant. If we are not awarded the HART grant, which we don't think we won't be, but in the case that we do, then we would use this $100,000, which is the same amount for the Healthy Built Environment grant you all approved last month, of $100,000 and zero match. So they're both the same amount of funding. One of them just allows for ADA improvements on top of what you already have or are going to have. If we don't get the first grant, then we'll turn around and use this $100,000 no match dollars for the original grant that we applied for.
No county match.
No county match.
Any other discussion? If not, clerk call the roll.
Mr. Crosby?
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett? Yes. Carolyn Brooks?
Yes.
Steve Mason?
Yes.
Steve Rogan?
Yes.
Derek Jones?
Yes.
Sharon Prairie?
Yes.
David Mundy?
Yes.
Quentin Rogers?
Yes.
Zachary Dunn?
Yes.
Dennis Cook?
Yes.
Lee Schubert?
Yes.
David Everson?
Yes.
Gary Ford?
Yes.
Mike Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Crawford?
Yes.
Tim Shrout?
Yes.
Zach Mullins?
Yes.
Anthony Rowe?
Yes. Motion carries 19-4, 0 against. Next item up is Resolution 66. This is Mr. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a resolution accepting the Tennessee Commission for the United States, I'll never get this name right, semi-centennial grant in the amount of $25,000. And there's no match for this. We've already gotten this grant, my understanding. So we just need to place it in a line item so we can spend it, to use it.
Second.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'd like to know when we're gonna have the celebration.
So we are going to have the semi-quincentennial celebration, the 250th celebration of America on July the 4th. We've had a committee that's got together for the last couple of months to do that. That is going to happen on Main Street in front of the courthouse. We'll block off the side of the street going up by the Election Commission, the side of the street coming up by Meredith Mundren's law firm out there. There will be a few items that we're going to do talking about American history. We're going to weave with the county historian. We're going to weave in a little bit of county history with regards to that. We're just going to have a fun street type atmosphere with that. We've got a band that's going to play for that. We're well under budget so far, including the fireworks display that the Science Center Byron Amen is going to do for us. We're looking at about a 2.5 shot firework for that. That'll last about 15 minutes. And that shot's been approved. We'll do that up here behind the helipad. We've not made any formal announcement because we had to resolute the money into it before we did that, but you'll probably have a formal announcement by the end of business tomorrow with regards to this when we can spend the money. So we are looking at heavy on kids games down on the street and a few things like watermelon eating contests and stuff like that to do some time frame for that. But what we want to do is have a big celebration of the 4th of July and America's 250th birthday. So if you've got any questions about that, I'm happy to take them.
And this includes the entire county, all the cities?
So the city of Harrogate and Cumberland Gap, Tazewell, New Tazewell have been in our first meeting. We've relayed messages to them after that. As you know, Harrogate usually does a fireworks display about that. They are not doing that because of the one that we're going to do downtown for the 4th of July.
You mentioned the time, Mayor.
Yes, we were originally going to do 6 to 9, a 3-hour window, but when we look at the projected sunset and darkness of that, we're going to start that at 7 now and end that at 10.
I know people are planning 4th of July events, so we do need to get it out as soon as possible.
If you pass this resolution by the end of business tomorrow, it'll be all out on the county.
Roll call.
Anyone else? If not, clerk call the roll.
Mitchell Posse?
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett?
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks?
Yes.
Steve Mason?
Yes.
Steve Brody?
Yes.
Eric Jones?
Yes.
Sherry Fair?
Yes.
David Bundy?
Yes.
Quentin Rogers?
Yes.
Zachary Dunn?
Yes.
Dennis Cook?
Yes.
Mitch Schuber?
Yes.
David Everson?
Yes.
Gary Forbes?
Yes.
Mike Kimball?
Yes.
Stacy Crawford?
Yes.
Tim Stroud?
Yes.
Zach Mullin?
Yes.
Anthony Rowe?
Yes.
Motion carries 19-4, 0 against. Next item up is Resolution 67, 13C. Mr. Crosby.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a resolution authorizing matching funds for an ARC Inspired County grant application in the amount of $100,000. There is some matching in this, which is $30,000. I think $15,000 is actual money out of the general fund, and $15,000 in-kind services. I make a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
All right, we got a second. Any discussion?
I'll go ahead and throw it up real quick. So as you all know, we've done an ARC Inspire grant in the past. We partnered with Helen Ross McNabb to start the jail to work program with females over at the jail. So that helped and did a lot of the incarcerated population in the jail for that jail to work program. We were one of 2 counties in the state of Tennessee that got those first grants. So I'm honored that they're considering us for another grant application for this. This is a little different than that. This is a planning grant, and what this looks like is working with employers and substance use providers locally to where if somebody is identified to be working currently, that it can provide services to them while still holding their job rather than losing the job or whatever. So it looks at what recovery tools that we can have with working with employers and substance use providers to where if somebody goes in for a drug test, rather than taking the drug test, they say, hey, I'm going to fail that. So it is going to look at some kind of strategies to keep them working until they know they can pass a drug test for that. It is a little bit of an alternate plan with regards to that, but when we've sat down and talked to ARC about the plans, it would be an approved remediation strategy for the use of the grant. So we're excited about that, talking with some of the factories who realize that when they have an employee that either, well, I would say that once an employee fails a drug test, it's up to the employer whether or not they would want to hire them back. But if they can disclose that they used marijuana or whatever the drug may have been prior to the test, this is a planning grant to work out some kind of strategies between providers and the employer that would allow them to not lose their job until they can take a clean drug test.
And would that be through Helen Ross McNabb?
No. No, this is solely a planning grant, so there is no partnership for this. Is not an implementation grant. This looks to put all the employers together that are having problems in the county, and they are all having problems with drug use on the job. It looks at all the providers in the county, which would include Helen Ross McNabb, the Hill Church, Stand in the Gap, anybody that does any of that space. So the planning part will be Stephanie Isbell, the ECD grant writer down in my office to get everybody together to do those meetings. And then the finances will be handled through the finance department like every other grant. The outcome and information and data that we get from this planning grant will then be used to turn in another grant that would implement those strategies once we figure out what those are. that are acceptable to everybody, providers and employers.
What would be the start date on that?
Well, the start date would be whenever we're awarded the grant. So ARC grants are typically notified in June to August, but this is one that kind of came up quickly on everybody to apply for that, which is why we've added it to the agenda. The application date has to be in by the end of June. So if we didn't have this at the meeting today, we couldn't discuss it. So I would say probably realistically, Dawn, that you're going to have probably a 2 to 3 month window before any awards go out for them to review and look at all the applications, and there would be a start date tentatively probably somebody at the end of the year or the first of the year for the planning grant.
Yes.
Is there any kind of public announcement that's been out on this?
So the ARC Inspire grant is all over the ARC website. Any entity that is in that space that wants to use that funding can apply for that. So Stephanie has done a really good job of looking at grants that the county can apply for. This is one that she brought to me. We talked about the grant specifics. We weighed the pros and cons of what it could do or couldn't do, but anybody, you can apply for these Inspire grants by yourself if you've got the 30% match.
That's the reason I asked, because I need to know before I can apply. And I'm just wondering if our coalition, the Prevention Coalition in this county, if we could be on a mailing list with that kind of information.
So we're not on the mailing list either. We peruse the ARC website. There's not a thing that goes out a fast blast of anybody at the ARC does that. We look at their website on a daily, weekly basis to see what is coming down the pipe that we can apply for. And I will say, I'm fortunate enough to be in contact with both of our senators and our rep. So Senator Haggerty was really instrumental with helping us with the first ARC Inspire grant. So his office has constantly reached out with some updates and stuff that they're doing in that space through ARC.
Okay, anybody else? If not, clerk call the roll.
Mitchell Crosby.
Yes.
Rosemary Martin. Yes. Carolyn Brooks. Yes. Steve.
Yes.
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
Eric Jones.
Yes.
Sherry Green. Yes. David Mundy.
Yes.
Quentin Rogers.
Yes. Yes.
Dennis Cook.
Yes.
Chris Schuber.
Yes.
Nathan Everson.
Yes.
Gary. Mike Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Crawford.
Yes.
Jim Strouse.
Yes.
Zach Mullins.
Yes.
Anthony Rose.
Yes.
Motion passed 19-4, 0 against. Next resolution is number 68. This is the Family Justice Center contribution. Ms. McCurry.
The Family Justice Center's received a $50 contribution for this year, and we'd like to put it into the expense so they can spend it out. I make a motion that we do that.
Second.
Got a motion. Any discussion? None, clerk call the roll.
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
Eric Jones.
Yes.
Sherry Prairie.
Yes.
David Mundy.
Yes.
Quentin Rogers.
Yes.
Jeffrey Bunch.
Yes.
Dennis Cook.
Yes.
Chris Schuber.
Yes.
Nathan Everson.
Yes.
Gary Ford.
Yes.
Mike Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Crawford.
Yes.
Jim Strouse.
Yes.
Zach Mullins.
Yes.
Anthony Rowe.
Yes.
Mitchell Crosby.
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett.
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks.
Yes.
Steve Mason.
Yes.
Motion carries 19-4, 0 against. Next resolution is number 69. This is the Health Department amendment. Ms. McCurry.
The Health Department received ARP grant funds in 2025, or even before that. But this is to let them spend that money. They have $73,637, and I make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any
When will they start the payment? Do you know, ma'am?
So we've got our quotes in, we're just waiting for the money to be let loose, and then we'll be able to schedule that. We're hoping to get it done before.
We're hoping to get it done before July 31st, but again, that just comes to if the company is able to come out and do that for us. But so far, we've got the quotes, we're excited.
Glass Machinery and Excavating out of Jonesville won the bid, and they were notified today, and they're aware that we're under the crunch for getting it done, so I think they're going to get it out as quick as they possibly can.
They are going to pay all the way around the building, correct? Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? If not, clerk call the roll.
I want to be clear about something. It doesn't do the whole front and back parking lot. It just does that gravel loop that connects the two. That's what is your code.
Steve Brogan,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Sharon Terry,
Yes.
David Mundy,
Yes.
Quentin Rogers,
Yes.
Zachary Bunch,
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Rick Schufer,
Yes.
Nathan Anderson,
Yes.
Gary Ford,
Yes.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Crawford,
Yes.
Tim Strout,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rowe,
Yes.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett,
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks,
Yes.
Steve Mason.
Yes.
Motion carries 19-4, 0 against. Next resolution is number 70. This is the budget amendment for Sheriff's Department retention bonuses. Mr. Stroud.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This budget amendment is for an additional $2,000 that was not included in the fiscal 26 budget. That additional $2,000 will be added in for the grant SRO program, and I'll make a motion we pass this.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, clerk call the roll.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Crawford,
Yes.
Tim Strout,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rowe,
Yes.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett,
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks,
Yes.
Steve Mason,
Yes.
Steve Brogan,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Sharon Creel,
Yes.
David Mundy,
Yes.
Quentin Rogers,
Yes.
Zachary Bunch,
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Rick Schufer,
Yes.
Nathan Anderson,
Yes.
Gary Ford.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 19-4, 0 against. Before we got several more to go to, we are asked to take a 10-minute break. Recess.
School board authority and the county commissioners authority, two And thus do not pass the promise. And like, what Mary does with it is the money. And the only time is if someone, by seeing the information, either on the school board or whatever, that there was an appropriate level of funding or something like that. Out of the bid, something that's wrong. That'd be the only time it ever gets any kind of understanding of it. But I think it's kind of a mess, you know, because it needs to be, I don't know. That should be so cut and dry. We've got a dog problem. We call animal control. Animal control will be out to check it out. I think you guys have a real good point. Why aren't anybody? I don't know. Anybody who's got a problem? We want to do things the right way. We have to go to the DMV. You know, believe it or not, totally acceptable. Because it's just like, it wasn't just Jimmy Show. It's been a while. And that's why on Judge Judy, people come out. I really like watching her because she's very fundamental. But the bottom line is, if you have an animal, you are responsible for the animal. If it needs to be on a leash, that's your responsibility. If it needs to be, go back here, nothing can be heard from anywhere. Okay. Yeah, but
we're in a recess, folks. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
It's like, not fear as much as it is mistrust and uncertainty. Because animals can get very uncertain, no matter what they are.
We're back, folks. I think there's just 4 or 5 items left on the agenda, so we'll see how long this takes.
Okay, is everybody back? Okay, let's get started back. Now we're working on the department numbers. 131, 151, 122, 116, 101. Now, it's been suggested that we might be able to put all these together.
I agree.
That's good.
Which ones we doing, all of them? I'll make a motion for this Chairman. Next Chairman, what about doing them all but 101?
All but 101?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to that next on this motion. Go ahead, Nick, you make the motion.
I make a motion that we lump them all together except the one for 101.
I second it.
Okay. This is Fund 131, 151, 122, 116. Everybody understand that? That's what we're going to be voting on. Now, we got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on any of these amendments? I'll give you just a chance to look over. It looks like, all these are just moving line items to go to cover expenses for the end of the year.
Within the fund, within each fund, right?
Correct.
Within the fund.
Yes, there's no extra funds, it's just moving funds from their budget. Okay, any questions? If not, clerk call the roll.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett,
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks,
Yes.
Steve Mason,
Yes.
Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Sheridan Prairie,
Yes.
David Mundy,
Yes.
Quentin Rogers,
Yes.
Zachary Bunn,
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Whit Shuford,
Yes.
Nathan Epperson,
Yes.
Gary Ford,
Yes.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Tracy Crawford,
Yes.
Jim Stroud,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rowe.
Yes. That motion amendments passes 19-4, 0 against. Now, we'll go to 101. Mr. Cosby.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'll make a motion we adopt this one, but I think there's some questions on this one.
Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. It's a little bit more lengthy. Has anybody got any questions?
I was wondering how much is this hitting our fund balance?
Some of it is coming out of the SRO grant, which sits in our fund balance, but it's restricted. That's the bulk of it. If you look at the bottom, if you look at the very bottom of it, that 39,000 is the fund balance. I think it's about 127,000. I'm not positive, but that's across all funds. 117. And there will be more than that that ends up rolling back into fund balance. This is more or less just a cleanup. We've got 7 of the 10-day pay periods that are going to be a 27th pay period for this year. So that's basically a lot of it. Basically anything on most of the personnel stuff is basically covering that 27th pay period.
Any questions?
So, I guess, could you give us a dollar amount of how much fund balance was used to take care of last year, the previous budget?
The former director used end-of-year revenues basically instead of fund balance, just everywhere I've ever seen, which is basically Knox County and just a few other governments. But you can use either end-of-year revenues or fund balance to basically line out all the accounts, and I just chose to use fund balance instead of the other. There was more funds actually last year, but out of fund balance, he didn't touch fund balance. He just used end-of-year revenue.
Well, if the end of the year revenue ain't used, it rolls back into fund balance.
Correct.
It's not any findings if we do it either way, though, is it?
Oh, no. It's more of my choice. that's just the way I chose to do it. There's nothing that's been done poorly before. It's just the way I did it.
Okay, anybody else? If not, clerk call the roll.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett,
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks,
Yes.
Steve Mason,
Yes.
Steve Rogan,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Sheridan Prairie,
Yes.
David Mundy,
Yes.
Tim Rogers,
Yes.
Zachary Bunn,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Rich Hoover,
Yes.
Nathan Richardson,
Yes.
Gary Moore,
Yes.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Crawford,
Yes.
Jim Stroud,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rupp.
Yes. Motion carries 19-4, 0 against. Mr. Collins.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to make a motion that we recess instead of adjourn, and I'm going to let the finance director come up and explain why.
Okay, so whenever I submitted the advertisement to the Claiborne Progress, it's a long story, which I can go into if you want to, but the proof they sent back did not contain the accurate numbers or anything. Basically, it was butchered. I said, do not publish this. And so it was on the Monday following this Thursday, they sent the corrected proof back, which I approved, and they proceeded to tell me it was too late to make publication. So therefore, this has to be, it's going to be running into progress tomorrow, or Wednesday. It'll be on Wednesday, and we have to wait until 10 days after that before the commission can take up voting on the budget, take action on the budget. So this would cover those other three things that we stepped over during tonight's meeting, and those would be picked up on June 29th if you decide to go this route.
Second.
Now, we've got a motion and a second to recess until June 29th.
6:30?
At 6:30. I won't be able to be here that night. Is there any way possible to do it Tuesday, the 30th?
I'm okay with that. It's up to the public commission.
Does anybody else have a problem with Tuesday?
However, the budget committee will have to be here at 5:30 on Monday because that is when the open forum is already set to publish.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just leave it there. Mitch will just take over. We'll just leave it to 29th. All right, does everybody know what we're going to vote on? To recess. Okay? Clerk, call roll.
Mitchell Crosby,
Yes.
Rosemary Barnett, no. Carolyn Brooks,
No.
Steve Mason,
No.
Steve Brogan,
No.
Eric Jones,
No.
Sheridan Prairie,
Yes.
David Mundy,
No.
Quentin Rogers,
No.
Zachary Bunch,
Yes.
Dennis Cook,
Yes.
Rich Hoover,
Yes.
Nathan Everson,
Yes.
Gary Moore,
No.
Mike Campbell,
Yes.
Stacy Crawford,
Yes.
Jim Stroud,
Yes.
Zach Mullins,
Yes.
Anthony Rupp.
Yes. You may want to change your vote before we go. Okay. 11 votes for yes and 8 votes for no. So we will recess until June 29th at 6:30 here in the large courtroom. Pardon? Okay.
By the way, when Jason Oliver was in here talking, I never called it at the time. We're not his county commissioner, this is the 7th district, by the way.
What was said?
Can you repeat that, please?
What was said?
The 6th district is not Jason Oliver's area. It is the 7th district is where he's at.
Okay.
Well,
Any other announcements or anything?
I've got one.
Yes.
Okay, so I mentioned at the last meeting that I was going to have debates, and I've set the Claiborne debate, not meet and greet, the debate for before early voting, which I'm going to have it on Tuesday the 7th, if everything works out well for using this courtroom. Tuesday the 7th at 7 p.m. That should give folks time to get home, get situated, and we'll live stream it.
Who's debating?
It will be the two offices that have need of debate, the sheriff and the county mayor. I'll be reaching out to them personally. I've already made some informal reach out kind of contact with them, and Not everybody's on board, but you never know. That changes within campaigns. There will be a meet and greet right here 2 days later, and it's open for anyone running for office in Claiborne County on the 9th, 2 days later, 7 o'clock, and we'll give you 5 to 7 minutes on camera. Hi, my name is. You can talk about oil prices. You can talk about what you had for breakfast. It doesn't matter to me. It's however you want to approach your constituents to let them know that you want their vote. And it's absolutely free. There's no cost involved whatsoever. No advertising cost. It's just a public service that we're providing.
How many minutes, Frank?
5 to 7 minutes.
You say it's 7 on the 9th.
Yes, have you got something scheduled?
No, he
Oh, okay. All right, I understand.
7.
Yes, Mr. Lee.
For Mr. Easton, is it permissible to have political functions like this on county property?
Yes.
Yes, it's in the public interest, sir.
It's going to be open there.
It's open to everyone. It's going to be open for the public. 7 o'clock both nights.
All right, one more thing. On the 29th, the Budget Committee is going to be meeting at 5:30, and that's for a open forum to public hearing for the budget, 26-27 budget. 5:30.
Okay, anything else?
I'd just like to thank the mayor for at least attempting to get Aaron here.
So I
Appreciate it.
was told we needed 6 units, which we went with 4, but they were not supposed to be this loud. They were supposed to be whisper quiet. So I'll be reaching back out to those guys to let them know not whisper quiet, and we'll be sending them back for just a day rate tomorrow. Now, if I can find something that's whisper quiet, or if we're trained to do just 1 unit outside for next time we're in here, I'll do that.
We appreciate it.
I gave it my best shot.
Okay, I'll entertain it. Motion to adjourn.
No.
Sorry. We're recessed till June 29th.
Thanks so much, folks. We appreciate you. This will archive. We will reload it on our website, www.thebig1063.com.